Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Miniatures Rundown podcast, the podcast where we give you the rundown on miniatures this week. Well, every 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
I'm Josh.
I'm CJ.
We'll start with the news, because we got so much news this time, and it's giving me the blues. Unless you want to drink some booze. So
have to put up with this every 2 weeks.
we'll kind of go backwards
Yeah.
from most recent to least recent.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when Knights came out
Mm-hmm.
and they were kind of heralded as this thing you could just add to any Imperial army?
Yep.
And then Imperial soup was just such the bane of everyone's existence that they
Right.
put a heavy kibosh on that.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what's back, baby? Put Knights in all your army. We gotta sell Knights.
Put 1 or maybe 3 armigers in your army.
Still more than 0.
Yeah, it's true, but it doesn't screw around with your faction abilities.
Nope.
Like Imperial Soup would if you attempted to do it in the current edition.
Right. Well, that's how they got rid of Imperial soup.
Yeah.
Was by going, if you bring it soup, you lose your spice.
You lose everything.
It's a bland soup.
It's a yeah. Why you got to do this while I'm hungry, man? Anyway, yeah, you can bring Chaos Knights and regular Knights.
So now Chaos gets to do their own knight adding.
Yeah, which is good.
Yes.
Because what's good for the goose, good for the gander.
All we need is a Xenos knight that everyone can use, and we'll be.
Wraith Knights.
I mean, squats are coming.
But yeah, so you get to bring 1.
Yes.
And precisely 1.
Yes. Yes.
Or 3 armigers, which will count as 1 free blade, which is pretty all right. That's like 36 wounds right there.
Yeah, it gives you a bunch of wounds and a bunch of firepower, especially with the new codex.
Mm-hmm.
And now they get to keep. They don't get to do all their house stuff.
No.
Yeah, they don't get
No,
all
these
those.
are supposed to be free blades.
Yeah, all those new rules you've been reading about, both either all those marks of chaos for the Chaos Knights and all the house rules for the Imperial Knights. You don't get any of that.
No, what you get is a really big tank, basically.
Yeah, you get a really big gun on 2 legs. Or a really big sword if you want one of those.
Or both.
Or both.
You don't want them. But yeah, like you get a lot of firepower, you get a lot of sheer damage, but you don't get a lot of buffs.
Yeah, and you don't get the buffs, you don't get board control.
Yeah.
It's kind of comparable to the Age of Sigmar Mega Gargants, which I guess that kind of makes sense that would come out like this because they kind of tested it there. Or maybe maybe it would be more comparable to call them like Kragnos. Or something that can be in every destruction army. But Kragnos gets to keep some of the buffs.
Yeah.
But not all of them.
Yeah, I was going to compare it to bringing like the Rogue Idol, but that doesn't mess with your unit coherency.
And Rogue Idol's also only Auric Warclans, isn't it?
Only Auric Warclans.
Yeah.
But that's still 3 armies in 1.
Yeah, I was thinking everything Kragnos because he's all destruction.
Just like Mega Gargants.
Right.
But yeah, it's bringing Knights back to how they should be played. If you're not bringing an entire Knight army, you get 1 to run around with. 5 is right out.
Jokes aside, I made the joke about them going back and forth on this. It was such a problem in the end of 8th edition. They needed to get rid of it.
Oh yeah,
they needed to get rid of soup.
They figured out how to get rid of soup.
Yeah, and now they're bringing back Knights in a thematic way.
Yes,
I'm all for it. I like it.
Yeah, I was talking to other Josh the other night, and we're like, oh yeah, the rules and lore just slowly getting closer and closer
now
together.
Kiss.
Yeah, the problem is that these 2 are magnets.
Need a stronger vice. That's all I'm saying. So that's Knights. I'm glad to see it back.
Yeah.
Let's stick with 40K.
Okay.
Next up on the news docket, Horus Heresy box revealed. The plastic Horus Heresy box we all knew was coming.
Yep.
With the new Horus Heresy edition, we finally seen the contents.
40 Marines.
The first plastic Spartan tank.
Yep. And a bunch of relic what we would call relic terminators in the 41st millennium, cataphractii terminators at that point,
and a plastic Contemptor Dreadnought.
A new plastic Contemptor Dreadnought as opposed to the old one.
Yes,
which is plain as pudding.
Yeah, it is very plain. It looks very. I will say, I think they really nailed it.
Oh yeah, it looks right,
but it looks perfectly plain. Like it looks old. Horus Heresy, when it's good, looks distinct from 40K.
Yes.
It doesn't just look like you're using tactical Marines for everything. And as much as some people might want that. Now, the box is painted up as Sons of Horus, versus Imperial Fists.
Yeah.
Imperial Fists have the tank. Sons of Horus have the Contemptor. And it's like 40 minis, not counting plus the tank, plus the Terminators, plus the Contemptor.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of plastic.
One of our buddies did the math on what it would be,
and it's like $450 or $500.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. So that brings the question that I'm going to ask: how aggressively are they going to price this thing?
I don't see it going below 300.
No.
If it's less than 400, I will be shocked.
So if you price this at 400, you are basically, because Horus Heresy has always kind of been the joke where Horus Heresy is the even more expensive version of Warhammer.
Yes, because most of it's Forge World. And there's just so many weapon kits for everything. Because that's how Forge World operates. Well,
if you price it at $400, you are saying, okay, this is not a game for everybody. This is a game. This is not. We're not trying to bring people into Horus Heresy. We're trying to get people to buy plastic for Horus Heresy.
Yes.
And here's my question, my follow-up question for that.
Mm-hmm.
A, as we're about to talk about, Games Workshop seems to be saying that this is how we do specialist games now.
Mm-hmm.
And B, is that a mistake?
I don't think so for Horus Heresy. Because you need huge hordes of Space Marines to be shooting each other.
This is very true. My thoughts is that Horus Heresy has always been, even like 40K often has problems getting people into play.
Right.
Like they've been focusing with combat patrols and everything on like, okay, here's how you actually get into this labyrinth of rules, guys. We know it's complicated, but if you buy this box, you can play.
Yeah.
Horus Heresy is an increasing, an even more closed ecosystem.
Yes,
it is incredibly difficult to get into.
Because the rules edition is 7th edition, but crappier.
Yes, and people did spot templates in the box. So we're not changing that, which some people don't mind.
Yeah.
Look,
I got away from 7th edition, and I never looked back.
I personally think that they kind of made a misstep here. And I'm going to repeat that in a bit.
Yeah.
By pricing it so high.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, I'm not saying that they need to have this exact kit. Cut the number of Marines in half.
Yeah, I guess so.
Make it, a couple squads of Marines with a tank. And that way, a couple squads in the Contemptor. Drop the Terminators. Release them alongside in their own box, like you do with the Eldar release.
Yeah, that's true.
The Eldar release didn't come with all the new Eldar. It came with the Rangers and the Shroud Runners.
And the Autarch.
Yeah. But there was a whole bunch of other new... It didn't come with the Avatar Kane. Right?
Oh, if only.
Well, because doing so would have increased the price by, $100.
Right.
I guess they're just kind of basically saying this is not a starter box, this is a collector's box.
Yeah, I think what they're saying is, look, Horus Heresy is an expensive game, and it's going... And now we're making a starter box for it. Starter box.
Yeah, I
we're not... We're not kidding. This is an expensive game.
That's what weirds me out, because they're talking so much about how this is a new edition of Horus Heresy. This is Horus Heresy 2, basically.
Okay.
2.0.
Oh. No, not another one.
Well, I mean, yes. Horus Heresy 2, Horusia Boogaloo. Anyway, that some portmanteaus aren't worth pursuing.
Nope. Horus harder.
Oh, no.
Nope.
2 Horus, 2 Furious. 2 Horus, 2 Heresy. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
There we go. That's what we're going to call this box, 2 Horus, 2 Heresy. I don't know. I think they made a misstep not making this like, hey, here's another game that you Marine players, because he knows a lot of those, you can play this. Here's a nice box to get you hooked. Reel them in. Games Workshop seems to have lost that whole reel thing. They had one.
I don't think they lost it, though. I think they just know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, because people will buy it.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, if you've been soured on 40K for whatever reason, and you just want to get down to the nitty-gritty of...
If you thought 9th was bad, here's a worse edition for you to play in.
7th edition again, yeah. But yeah, hey, if you're a brain-dead lummox who doesn't like a good rule set when it comes...
You should insult all of our Heresy viewers, all 2 of them.
All 2 of them, yeah.
So yeah.
But the point being, like, if you don't want to get into... Like, if you just can't stand 40K anymore, but you still like the game and you want to use your models, here's this.
And you like Space Marines and
you
only
like
Space
Marines and maybe a dash of Solar Auxilia.
No, Space Marines.
Well, yeah. Those are the ones
Space
that
Marines.
matter.
Space Marines.
Yes.
Space Marines.
Space.
Space
Go to space.
No one's going to space, mate. So yeah, you don't play Heresy.
No.
Is this gonna get you to start?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I probably wouldn't start even if the box, if it, and maybe this is me counteracting my own point, because if they had released functionally a Horus Heresy Combat Patrol, and who knows, they still could.
Still yet might, yeah.
I don't know where we're gonna find room on the shelves for that product. I still wouldn't buy it and play it, and maybe they know that. Maybe they know this is one of those things where we know what our audience is.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't see advertisements.
Yeah, like I was saying, like I think they know.
You don't see advertisements for Lamborghinis.
No.
Like, not on TV.
Maybe you should.
Not on Comcast. I'm going to go to the sports channel. Oh, there's an advertisement for Ferrari. No, because if you want a Ferrari, you know where to get one, and you know how much it costs.
Yeah.
And you have to ask how much it costs. They won't sell you one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that kind of thing. I don't know. I as someone who really likes kind of the accessibility angle in games, this is depressing to me.
It's not depressing to me at all, frankly.
Fair enough.
Well, because I know it's not accessible.
Yeah,
and that's fine, because the people who really want to get into it are going to get into it.
And they're not lying about it.
And they're not lying about it.
You know what? That is also completely fair.
They're being straight up. Yo, this is a $400 box set. You get a crap ton of stuff.
We take payment and organs, right?
Yeah. We take PayPal, fingers, and
So speaking of expensive boxes,
yep.
Ash
another specialist game.
Yeah. So Necromunda, Ash Wastes. We've known that's coming. The Buggies versus Buggies. We saw the box previewed at Adepticon, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't remember when it was previewed. It was previewed.
I was sick during Adepticon.
That goes up for pre-order this weekend.
Yep.
And the Ash Wastes box is going to be $300.
Yep. Now, that is $300 that nets you what?
Okay, well, let's break it down, because I've seen a lot of sticker shock at this.
Yeah.
It nets you an Orlok gang. Like
a whole gang.
Your normal gang.
Yeah.
An additional set of Orlok buggies.
Okay.
The motorbike trikes.
So 40.
So that's essentially, those are $47 each.
Okay.
We did the math. It's still a deal.
Okay.
So it comes with basically 2 gang boxes.
Right.
A normal gang box and a supplementary box. This is like Escher have their gang, and then you have the Death Maidens.
Right.
Goliaths, and then Forgeborn and Stimmers. Orlok and Arms Masters and Wreckers.
Yeah.
And this is Orlok and the vehicles.
Palanites and Subjugators, yeah.
Right. Which, we should note, the clear analog to this box is Dark Uprising.
Yes.
But we'll get to that. So it comes with Orlok times 2.
Right.
It comes with Ashwaste Nomads, the gang, and their buggies.
Bugs. Yeah.
Yeah, bugs. They're Morrowind Silt Shredders. I really want to paint these guys as like a House Telvanni now.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, so you've got essentially 4 gang boxes.
Sarah.
That's about $50 a pop after tax. So that's $200 right there.
Yeah.
You then get the rulebook.
Rulebook.
Which is $50.
Right. The Ash Waste rulebook is a different rulebook than...
That is unclear.
Okay,
because
we don't know yet.
They say it is the rulebook for the new edition of Necromunda.
Okay.
That might just mean this new type of game. It also said it has all the core rules in there.
Okay.
All the collected core rules. They also claim it's cleaned up and better. We'll see about that, because fool me once, fool me with every book, shame on me.
So you've got hopefully,
50, 50, 50, 50 for each gang.
Yeah.
200. Book, $50.
Yep.
250. And then a terrain set. Now,
100.
That terrain set is not particularly large.
Okay.
It would probably go for $90 or $100.
Okay.
Because that's what they tend to price their Necromunda terrain sets at.
Yeah.
So let's round up to 100.
Yeah.
You're at $350.
Right.
And then your tokens, your templates, your dice, including the new dice that you absolutely need to play this edition of the game, which
of course
currently not available alone. Worth noting, the rulebook and the dice are not coming out separately yet. So you're up to let's call it.
Charitably call it about $375.
Let's call it $375.
Yeah.
First off, that's not a huge savings. Which with Necromunda we saw that last with what box? That terrain box.
Yeah.
Where it was the Underhive sector terrain.
Yeah.
Which was a $275 box for about $300 worth of stuff. So a savings, but not a big one.
Yeah.
This is technically
still a savings, yeah.
This is technically a savings.
Right.
Like, it is technically a good deal. Now, a couple problems. First off,
first.
Obviously, I have a problem with the book and the dice not coming out.
Big problem.
With this separately.
That's nothing new, though.
Because if you want, it's not anything new. It was the same thing with
pain in the butt.
Dark Uprising.
Yeah.
2, the terrain.
Crappy terrain.
Dark Uprising was also $300.
Yeah, but it was a lot of $300.
Dark Uprising came with also came with 2 sets for each gang.
Yep.
It also came with a heck of a lot more Zone Mortalis terrain.
Right.
Like a lot of more plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Those hubs are great. I think they look spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. They're not worth as much.
Not $300 worth of I love it.
So this is clearly a $300 box because they backed down on the terrain, but the general price increase.
Yeah.
Dark Uprising came out in what, 2018, 2017? Something like that? Yeah, so general price increase, global, blah, blah, blah. GW being GW.
But also,
but
actual supply problems.
The problem is you're coming out with this thing you're calling a new edition of Necromunda, and you're charging $300 for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, it's GW, that's what they do. But like now with Horus Heresy, there's some, hey, maybe it is actually, maybe they know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
With Necromunda, I feel like they could have priced this, even just $50 off.
Yeah, I feel like they could have priced this a little bit more charitably.
Just even $275. When you cross the threshold of another 100 is when you start losing people.
Yeah.
Which is why it's $299.
Well,
on the website.
But
it's $300 and we're calling it $300
because that's what it is.
Like pricing at $275 I think would have been a huge boost.
Mm.
And it just I don't know. I don't know if it's worth $300 within the realm of what GW charges for stuff.
Right.
I don't know if it's worth $300. And it seems like a great way to not get more people to buy your gangs. Because there's other problems too, where only people who play Orlok and the new Nomads are going to be able to use the new vehicle rules.
Right.
Unless you want to kit bash your own. And they did say that the rulebook does come with rules for the other gangs. Maybe those will be rules for the kits that are going to come out and we don't know about. Maybe they'll be just rules in general.
G-Sure will be nice.
We'll see. Yeah. Now, and here's the ultimate pushback against myself. I'm buying this box.
And why would that be, Josh?
Because I want everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want, including the train.
And
because I have points saved up at the local store to make it half off.
And because you're a sucker.
Oh, yeah. No, that's why. I don't have to say that. That's just me. Just sucker. I'm going to motion track it to my head the entire rest of the podcast episode. Don't do that, please. I look bad enough.
Don't do that. It's a lot.
I am part of the problem.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm going to be getting a discount on this because our local store has a point system where you buy money and you get points off your purchases, blah, 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 blah. And I've been saving. I knew this was coming. I knew it was going to be expensive.
Yep.
And I've been saving my points. And, if maybe your local store has a 20% off discount thing, in which case that is $60 off this box. Good God. Now it's only a $240 box.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot more palatable.
I think a lot of non-GW stores actually do more of a discount.
I know almost every store either does a point system or a flat discount. Or a loyalty program or something. Very many do. I think you have to in this day and age when you're competing with Amazon. Because that box is going to be on Amazon for like $250.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Amazon. Anyway.
Bezos!
So, I'm getting the box, and part of the problem, I'm also going to try and sell the Orlok buggies because I don't particularly care about them.
Mm-hmm.
The Orlok gangers I'm going to keep to use as outcast conversions.
Oh, there we go.
Make the best, because I don't plan on playing Orlok. But I do plan
Not until you see the rules, at least.
Well, I just don't love their looks.
Right.
They're
just them.
I went to Sturgis once. This was fine.
I've been to Gary. I don't need to go there again.
Wow. No, that's just the Necromunda Underhive. Overhive.
Every time I drive past there, I just look at it and I think, so that's what Fallout looks like in real life.
No, Fallout looks better. Sorry to everybody who lives in Gary. Gee, you're just on a roll with insulting everybody today who's not us. You're feeling very jingoistic.
I am. I'm just out of frame, too.
It's going to get cut anyway.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, Ash Waste is coming out and it's $300.
Yep.
Let me know below if you're buying this box. We did a poll on our Facebook page for the store to see how many people were buying it, and so far I am the only one who said, yes, I'm buying it at launch. I know my friend Brian said he was buying it, but he said he was buying it later, maybe, not at launch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on to less depressing news. The FAQ for Age of Sigmar.
Oh, yeah. What did they do? Because this just dropped, and I've been working all day, so...
It's just dropped, and it's, I nerfed Deepkin and Fire Slayers.
Okay.
It's just the FAQ.
Oh, okay.
No real nerfs, just clarifications.
That's good. They punished Fire Slayers enough as is by being Fire Slayers.
They're very good now. They're a lot better than they were. I still
still running around butt-ass nude.
Yeah, they're still running around, naked with fire, but hey, if that's what you're into.
Okay.
They clarified some things. The Battle Master's rally effect only applies to Fire Slayers.
Shocker.
Yes, it should have.
Uh-huh.
No, you can't take a whole bunch of High Kings and Idnith Deepkin.
It's one of those things that, like, if your players had the ability to, like, I don't know, think a little bit.
It clarified some of abuses that people were kind of doing, but neither of those books were very broken, as we talked about in our reviews.
Yeah. No, they were eminently
fat middle, to quote the common phrase.
Yeah.
They're great books, is what I think, because they didn't blow the meta up, but they made those armies solid and playable and fun, and this FAQ continued.
Eminently functional.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this FAQ continued to add to that, which, great. I find it hilarious that GW is doing better at battling book power creep than in AOS and 40k. We've discussed this before.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Please don't stop.
Yeah, please keep at least one of your games balanced.
Please build a wall. You know what? Just tell the 40k balance team that there's a cask of Amontillado in the basement that you really need to show them.
For God's sakes, Montresor.
Yes. On to more news. We are starting to see more reveals for Daughters of Kane rules.
Yeah.
Which means I think that we are going to see on Sunday the announcement of the Daughters of Kane. Well, no. Pulling that back. What do you think we're going to see for the Sunday preview this week? Is it going to be Knights or books?
Well, they've really been pushing Knights.
I think we're
hard.
going to see Knights this week.
I think next week will be
and
Daughters
then
of
next
Kane.
week the Daughters of Kane and the Night Haunt tomes.
That's it.
So
we've seen that book though, right? Yeah, or that box coming out.
We've seen that box. The box is out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the box came out like 2 weeks ago, dude. You don't play out of those armies, so you don't care.
I don't play out of those armies, and I didn't see it on the...
Yeah, the box came out. And
people who cared about it got it. And
but
people
yesterday we saw a rules preview for the Daughters of Kane. And I want to bring this up because there's something they're doing that's a little annoying. First off, we've seen that... there's just some minor rules changes. They did not address the elephant in the room, which is Morathian or double shoot ability.
Right.
I'm going to call that it's going to be like a holy command for Stormcast, where it's once per game instead of once.
Gee, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Bow snakes will still be good because they're still ranged mortals onto hit rolls.
Yeah.
So you'll take them anyway.
Yeah. Deal with it.
But that's always an army that's kind of supposed to be more melee. So, but they previewed one of the buffs to wound, and they're doing an annoying thing because right now Age of Sigmar has a stacking cap.
Yeah,
you cannot stack any buffs more than +1.
Right.
For hit and wound and some other things. Casting you can still stack to
stack it to the heavens.
The heavens, yeah. But hit, wound, save you can only do +1. But they released a rules preview that I believe the Gladiatrix, or maybe it's just the Witch Elf. I don't remember which one.
Gladiatrix, I think, is the one.
Yeah, who buffs the wound on Witch Elves.
Yeah.
She still because right now, currently, she buffs them by +1 to wound.
Right.
They changed it. There is a new rule, a new buff coming in the new Battle Tome, where instead of giving a +1, it changes their to wound characteristic from 4 to 3.
Oh, okay.
Which means you can then further stack a +1 on top of that.
Okay, yeah.
If we removed stacking, why are we adding it back into the game? GW does this constantly.
Yeah.
Where they nerf a thing.
Tell me more about indirect fire, yes.
Because it's a problem.
Yes.
And okay, wound stacking and hit stacking was a problem. Because you get anything to hit on +2 up. You can get goblins to hit on 2s.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be able to. But now they're just going to add it back in. And they never only add something once, right? If they come up with a concept, they go, oh, we can put that in our concept bank now.
Yeah.
So now we're going to see things that change the characteristic to X, which is not completely unheard of. We've seen before where things like shields, models with a shield have a save characteristic of 3 instead of Stormcast.
Yeah, instead of a +1 like it used to be.
Right.
Or a reroll 1 to wound, or reroll 1 to armor save thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it did this rules preview did also remove all the rerolls. Somewhat mimetically on the internet, they removed rerolls of 1 to hit, and then and replaced it with a +1 to hit.
Okay.
And then the article talked about how much better that is. Mathematically, it's not. Well, mathematically it is, except that +1 to hit is cheap as chips, and you can get it anywhere.
Yes.
So the internet's kind of been laughing at GW because, rerolls 1s is way worse than a +1 to hit. It's not, but rerolls do need to be removed.
Yeah.
Rerolls slow the game down.
I'm always fascinated by GW rules team. Like, do they keep them like in a like a concrete bunker somewhere?
Well, we know how
far
much
away?
they get paid, and it ain't enough.
Yeah. I guess so.
No, it's just that it's the balance of trying to find things that are thematic. Rules writing is very difficult. I don't want to.
Oh yeah.
I don't like getting mad at rules writers. But anyway, so we're starting to see previews for that. I don't like that they're adding that back into the game. I don't want to. I hate this slippery slope stuff. Like, we have stacking. No stacking. Stacking is bad. But we can change the characteristic. Just stop.
No, it's fine. I can retrain him.
I can fix him. We have the technology.
Yeah, sure, Harley.
The only other bit of news I wanted to bring up was something I found out from building my Chalnath kit, my Kill Team Chalnath kit.
Mm-hmm.
You know how there's that crane that I hate that's in there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the train piece right here.
Well,
on the back of that crane, there's a little antenna. So that crane is from the Galvanic Servo Haulers kit, which comes with 2 little tractors and a crane.
Mm-hmm.
They only have the crane sprue in there. That antenna's on one of the other sprues. So there's just a hole there because they didn't put that sprue in.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, brother.
But, to their credit,
Mm-hmm.
every instance of this I have seen online says that if you provide proof of purchase to Games Workshop, they will mail you another Chalnath box. So, if you bought that and have this problem, and you can prove where you got it. Now, if you bought it from a local game store, the problem is that Games Workshop will probably say, you need to talk to your local game store about this.
Yeah.
And they'll send this to your local game store, who may or may not give you the whole box. They might just give you the sprue.
Right.
It's also not affecting all Chalnath boxes, apparently. Some of them, they did put like some of the sprues in there. It's a little weird.
It is a little weird.
But it's starting to pop up.
That's what happens when you pay, 6-year-old Indian kids to put your boxes together.
They're put together in the UK. Then again, that is terrain. So that is made in China.
And, there are 6-year-old Indian kids in the UK, too.
Oh, God. That's fair. So anyway, only other bit of news from me for the Games Workshop front anyway.
Yeah.
Is,
Votan?
Oh, I guess there is the,
2 of them.
We saw the preview for the Sons of Votan.
Leagues of Votan.
Leagues of Votan. Squats.
Squirts.
Um,
They're old Space Marines. Threes, 4s.
Yeah.
1 wound. Leadership, okay.
2 wounds on the
big guys,
on the leader.
Yeah, hey, if you really wanted to play old school Space Marines but didn't want to...
And the leader is called a Terran, I believe, which is interesting because I believe that... I know that's a callback to Old English lordship.
Yeah.
But that same phrase, Terran, is also used in Dragon Age for the lordships there.
Oh, yeah.
In the Ferelden, which is interesting because I was just playing Dragon Age recently, and there's Terran Loghain, which is the name of the lords there. Funny how the world works when everybody's mining the same wells of mythology.
Of old English.
Yeah.
Ye old English.
Are
there lords called Arls?
Yes. In Dragon Age they are.
No, I mean
I don't know about
in Leagues of Votan.
I don't know. We'll find out. If they are, I'm gonna laugh.
I hate it. I've never been so anti-excited for a league of army before.
Really? Why?
Well, okay,
we didn't do a squats video, so let's talk about it here.
Well, so I already told you a couple of videos back. I don't like dwarves. I think they're annoying and stupid.
Sorry, keep going.
Shut up, you elf-looking. Never mind.
Yeah, it's ironic. I look more like if I shaved, I'd be an elf, and yet I play more dwarves, and elves annoy me.
I don't mind Gimli, son of Gloin. I don't mind, Sky Pirates.
Okay, fair enough.
That's fine. I do not care about squats. I do not care about Fire Slayers. I could take or leave the dispossessed. D&D dwarves is what got me, though, because inevitably it's all a bunch of beardy white guys trying to do crappy Scottish accents.
Well, to be fair, D&D has the problem where every member of a race is like a stereotype of something.
No, I know.
And they try to get away with it more in modern times.
I know. It's just like, I've been so soured on dwarf. Like, oh, we're going to do an all dwarf campaign. Like, cool. I'm going to go.
Don't like when Brian Blessed does his Gutrick voice, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm Brian Blessed.
Sorry.
Feed me more turkey. No, it's just like, hey, what if we did an all dwarf campaign? I'm like, cool. I'm going to go hang myself in the back room.
Well, if you're playing a dwarf, you don't need a tall stool for that.
Oh. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, the amount of anti-hype I am experiencing is growing daily because it's 40K is a big universe, and the last really cool, interesting army that they came up with. What?
You're gonna say Tau, aren't you?
Well, Tau and Necron. When they retooled the Necrons, actually, was when they made those cool and interesting instead of just space zombies.
Yeah.
Like, there's more out there. Give me Tyrellian dog soldiers. Give me the Hrud.
Yeah.
Give me something more than just
nostalgia mining.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's part of it. Yeah, that's a big part of it in this case. It's just like, there's so much more you could be doing. You could do Men of Iron if you want, if you absolutely have to get back into the lore to do this, or you could just do something different. There's something out there you could mine. Like, you could do plant people, or you could do, I don't know, friggin', I'm looking around for something something to spark my interest.
Elephant people.
Yeah.
Space Romans. Wait, those are just Ultramarines.
Yeah, no. But like, yeah, you like, what about space dragons with Cthulhu tentacles on their mouths? Like, what about this? What about that? What about literally anything but same old stuff?
That's fair. So there have been rumors
Yeah.
that the Men of Iron might be part of this faction.
Yeah, because they have the technology.
And I think those rumors have kind of been a little downplayed now because we've seen that the AIs they have are these like supercomputers.
Right. Yeah.
That they consult. It's like their ancestor knowledge, except it's a supercomputer with a personality. So it is an AI.
Is what it is.
Yeah, but there's multiple different ones.
Yeah.
So that kind of me doesn't say Men of Iron being in the faction, which kind of, that was what I was hoping.
I don't know. I think that speaks more of Men of Iron because they have the ability to make AI.
Maybe.
Limited AI maybe, but like, they buff up their numbers with Men of Iron or something similar.
Yeah. See, and that to me is what is kind of keeps me on the hope.
Yeah.
I will say that what I find hilarious is that the number of previews we're seeing for squats tells me that we might get a squat codex before we get Imperial Guard. Which is...
Imperial Guard Codex. You
Which
mean
is-
10th edition Codex?
I mean, here's the thing. They're not going to launch 10th edition with anything except Marines versus an enemy, right?
Yeah.
But if they did Imperial Guard, wouldn't that be the funniest thing in the entire world?
Oh, yeah. That would-
Either, like, there's two equally hilarious options here. One, we get this brand spanking new faction with a brand spanking new codex before we get the
old
Emperor's
standby,
Hammer.
yes.
Before we get the untold trillions of humans.
Yeah.
Which is funny to me because it's like basically the biggest middle finger they could give Imperial Guard players. Or
All right.
two,
We've got 10th edition coming out in 3 weeks. We've got one codex left. You know what it is?
it's a PDF.
Crute.
No, we already got that. Option number two, which is even more hilarious but also really cool, is that like it's more hilarious because it would mean not getting a 10th edition or 9th edition Imperial Guard Codex, which would be the funniest thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
Just basically saying, yeah, you don't get one. And then they launched 10th edition with Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Either Imperial Guard versus someone else, or
Yeah.
they just do Imperial Guard versus Space Marines. They don't even pretend. It's just two Imperial factions.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all play Imperium, right? We just buffed power armor. You know
Fine.
what? You're all playing it anyway. We're just gonna say that it's Imperial Guard versus who are being wrongfully killed by Space Marines. We don't care. Buy this.
It's actually Trader Guard, like in the box. That
So,
would be kind of cool.
If they did Trader Guard Codex,
Yeah.
that would be the coolest option. Because
They did. They just do Astra Militarum and Assorted Heretics.
I would Trader Guard might get me to play Chaos, depending on how they were actually like done.
But didn't you only want the truth? Isn't that all you ever wanted? Come join my word bearers in the dumpster where we belong.
Trader Guard comes up and goes, "We want to join." And they go, you must be this tall to ride the
Heresy train.
Ride the Heresy train. So you get to be a Trader Guard, which means you get to be fodder. Now go die for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be here over here in my awesome power armor.
Yeah, not dying.
So yeah, I mean it's kind of like a. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm hoping that they don't release 10th edition for another year.
I don't see it happening. They're a slave to their 3-year cycle.
I know.
They're a slave to it, and they're gonna do it, and it's gonna be funny. And Imperial Guard is at right now because like even if they dropped Imperial Guard right after they dropped Knights, which they might.
Yeah.
But like we've got to get the squats, and then we've got to get it through Imperial Guard. That's 2 codexes. In 12 months. So someone's going to get like 4 months of codex time.
I kind of hope it's the squats, frankly.
I mean, if they just designed squats to be a 10th edition codex ahead of time,
I think that's what they're going to do. Yeah.
No, I think they're going to do squats first, then they're going to do Imperial Guard. And I'm going to call it right now and say Imperial Guard will not be a 10th edition codex. The last bit of news is speaking of news, we have news about news that is coming newsily, which is to say Warhammer Fest is coming.
Is that it? That's the byline. Okay.
May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We've seen that there's a day for 40K.
Yep.
There's a day for Age of Sigmar.
Yep.
And there's a day for the specialist games.
Yep. Everything else.
Worth noting on that specialist game list is Kill Team, Warcry, Necromunda.
No Titanicus?
I honestly don't remember because I don't care anything about Titanicus. Sorry.
I'm sure they'll release whatever they want to release when they release it.
They erroneously put Warhammer Underworlds on the list, but then they released a statement saying, "Hey guys, the new set just dropped.
Sorry,
there's not going to be
pasted.
There's not going to be any Underworlds news." So I wanted to, the reason it's news is I wanted to ask, what do you think we're going to see?
I think we're finally going to get a Chaos Codex announcement, or
for Age of Sigmar.
For 40K. Because they put out the Eldar book. They put out the new Eldar models and the Eldar book, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to do Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights. And we don't know what's after that one.
I think we're going to see the previews for what's after that one?
Yeah, I think we're going to see probably stuff until the end of the year.
What needs to come out for 40K besides we've got squats, Imperial Guard,
Chaos Space Marines.
So you think we'll see Chaos Space Marines?
Yeah, and I think we're going to see Word Bearers as its own faction.
That would make sense.
With
so we've got 3 codexes we got to come out in 12 months. Someone's gonna get shafted.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so that means that we're gonna have like a model refresh too, because that's kind of how they've been doing it, right?
So, who would the word bearers be up against? It's got to be.
Oh no, World Eaters. Sorry.
World Eaters. Sorry. Yeah, word bearers. We had them on the brain.
Yeah.
So World Eaters, Khorne, basically.
Yes.
The idea of Khorne being a sub faction, just like Tzeentch and. Nurgle, and distinctly not like Slaanesh.
Yes.
Like Slaanesh is not, because Slaanesh got shafted out of that, which is appropriate for Slaanesh anyway.
Yeah. They're happy with it.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, so, assuming, like, if they do another dual box.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they won't do another dual box because the dual box is already out for Chaos and Eldar, right?
Okay, so you think
they're going to repack the Warpsmith and they're going to repack the Chosen, and then they're going to put out 4, 5, 6 new boxes of stuff that desperately needs a refresh, like the Khorne Berserkers, to go with the World Eaters box.
I think we'll see more squat stuff too.
Oh, probably, yeah. No, they've got people champing at the bit for it.
Do you think that we will see a dual squats versus Imperial Guard box?
We should.
That sounds funny to me because they've got the AI thing, but it's also implied that that's super hidden, that nobody else knows about it. So I would love to see if it was squats and Imperial Guard codex coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
And them fighting each other, because that is a box full of things I would probably like.
Sure, why not?
I mean, hey,
it'll sell better than the Ideneth box, right?
Speaking of Ideneth, what do you think we'll see for AOS?
The announcement of the Chaos versus Order box that we finally need to get.
Yep. Rumors on the wind is that it's Sylvaneth versus Skaven.
That makes sense.
I would love that, obviously. I want new Skaven. I want the world of, cue to the song here.
Slaughter your world. Wait, wrong song.
I can slaughter your world. Warpstone, doom wheels, and rattlings.
The next one after that, I have no godly idea, but I would like it to be something like like Slaves to Darkness or Beasts to Chaos or something.
We did see a rumor engine that is essentially one of the Beasts of Chaos endless spells, but smaller.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. I'm trying to think back to stuff that's gotten the Tome Celestial stuff
Yes.
in
Beasts of Chaos did.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't do another one.
Right, and it's been a while since that one.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some rumors that Beasts of Chaos and Skaven will be combined. I don't think so. I don't particularly like that idea.
I don't
it would water down both factions.
Yeah.
So I don't want that. But hopefully, I agree. I hope we see Skaven and Sylvaneth also desperately need a book.
Yes, they're the ones that desperately need both the line. Maybe not total refresh on the Sylvaneth part.
No, Sylvaneth have a lot of good. All their models are nice.
Yeah, but they desperately need a new book.
They'll get a new hero or maybe a new unit in the book.
Yeah, as is usually the case.
Yes. Kill Team, we'll see whatever the next box is. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen it already.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see whatever the next box is. I have no earthly idea
Yep.
what will be the two factions. I got no clue.
Yeah.
I can't even begin
Squats.
to guess.
Friggin' squats in that one, too. Squats all the way down, baby.
So you joke about that, but that one leak that has been
Yeah.
completely accurate at this point did say Squat Kill Team was coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
So that would be funny. Warcry is the one I am most trepidatious and worried about. We don't need a new Warcry edition. They just dropped.
Become bearing more Warcry stuff. Oh, really? What's in this box? It's called cancellation.
Yeah,
no longer supported.
Yeah. So speaking of which, they well, they won't cancel Warcry.
I know.
But I did find it funny that they released the Tome of Champions, which had rules for all the Underworlds warbands.
Oh yeah.
And then a bunch of those Underworlds warbands went out of print.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are up for. We forgot. I guess we've had that bit of news.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of the Underworlds warbands from like a whole smattering of seasons, including like the Beastgrave starters, are going up for last chance to buy.
Mm-hmm.
I bought another thing of Spikeclaw Swarm because I love those models, and I bought I think it's the Dark Oath.
The barbarians.
Yes, Slaves of Darkness. I bought them because I love those models too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, get those. But anyway, it's funny that they released the rules to use all those guys in Warcry. Now they're squatting those models.
Can we still say squatting now that Leagues of Votann
Yes,
are coming up?
yes, because
Okay.
that verb is going to be in the lexicon forever. It
Copy
just
that.
means what it means. So Warcry, I don't want a new edition because they're just gonna,
Yeah.
we don't need a new edition, but they have to because they have to do their 3-year thing,
Right.
and that sucks. Honestly, I probably won't buy it because I don't play Warcry enough as it is.
Right.
But then again, maybe it's going to be a great box with a bunch of great models. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a Cities of Sigmar specific Warcry box, and I'll get it.
That would be a very odd choice.
That would be it. It won't be that, but
It'd be cool.
a man can dream.
You mean Dawnbringer Crusades?
Yeah, well, it'll be called that. Hey, their Tome Celestial still call them Cities of Sigmar.
For now.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're going to be Dawnbringer Crusades.
Yeah.
And a bunch of my stuff is going to get squatted and ruined.
Oh.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, well.
That's why I'm hoping Skaven are good, so I can have a second army.
Yeah, you get to go over there with all the Bretonnians.
Yes. Ugh. And then finally on the list was Necromunda. So what do you think we'll see for Necromunda?
I mean, they're going to keep riding this Ashways train.
So more vehicles?
More vehicles, yeah. More that we're going to see probably like a kit breakdown of that big stupid truck.
Oh, I forgot about the big stupid truck.
Yeah. Probably going to see... I don't know. What are the most popular ones, most popular armies?
In
Or
Necromunda?
gangs in Necromunda.
I believe it's Goliath is one of the most popular ones because
Okay.
they're very straightforward.
Yeah.
But I don't have any sort of metric for that.
Yeah, I don't either. So we're probably just they're gonna do more Ashways stuff.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna be like Goliath and Escher or something, or whatever.
I'm sure everyone will get a vehicle.
Oh yeah, like without a doubt. Or they'll be announcing, hey, here's the expanded kits for the buggies or the
Yeah.
buggies.
We also saw, well, I'm assuming the vehicle kits are that for those. So I don't think we'll see any more for Orlok. And we also did already see that they are coming out, Forge World, unfortunately, a new bounty hunter
Oh yeah.
for both Orlok and the Nomads.
Oh, cool.
So that's another opportunity for them to do that. More vehicle-based bounty hunters. I'm sure we'll see that. They'll ride this train truck to the end.
Choo choo.
I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up. With a mixture of excitement and dread, as always, with these reveals.
So you just have to be like me and don't hold any ideas in your head of what it'll be, and you'll just be pleasantly surprised.
I want Skaven. I needs them.
Yeah, I know.
I need my Skaven models.
So that brings us to the end of the news segment, right?
Yeah. Which was really long.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
I don't really know if we have any topics.
Well, I mean, I've got some stuff I did. I was going to say, like, what have we played a little bit?
What have you been up to?
So in the last 2 weeks, I started playing Cursed City.
Oh!
I started painting those models, and they're nice.
Okay, they are great models.
Yeah. Cursed City is pretty fun so far. I hadn't played... like, the closest thing I had ever played to that was Dragon Strike. Take that how you will.
I never played Dragon Strike.
It's kind of fun. This is a lot more straightforward. We've done 2 hunt missions so far, and we kind of have an idea of how this game works now.
Good.
But we're also, like...
How many players do you have?
4.
Good.
Yeah.
A good number. Who are you playing as?
I have the guy with the cloak over his shoulder.
Oh, the Dario, I think his name is?
Yeah.
The
noble.
Yeah, the nobleman.
Yeah. And when one of our players can't show up, I also take Imelda.
The knight.
Sword lady, yeah.
Raskov is her last name because I read the novel.
Yeah.
It was an okay novel.
Was it good? Okay.
It wasn't great.
It was adequate.
It was
I'll take
fine.
adequate.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It's nice to read something in AOS that's set in that kind of environment because you don't see a lot of that.
Yep. But yeah, so we've been running through there. It's kind of fun. We haven't really fought anything too terrifying yet.
No bosses?
Well, I mean, we've beat up on Watch Captain Hologram a lot.
Yeah, well, he's kind of the dunk on him for the first box.
Yeah, we have been absolutely dumpstering him for the last 2 games. So take that, you big nerd. So that's been fun. We also, not here, but last Saturday, I played in my first tournament in several years,
actually.
Yeah,
that was at a local...
yeah, it was at a local place
that
that's
was
not here.
Just some local folks who organized a tournament, right? It was really cool to see.
Yeah. So, yeah, big props to Spencer for putting that together. I came in dead last because I played Imperial Knights.
Before their codex came out.
Well, yeah.
No Imperial Guard players to dunk on a little bit?
There was an Imperial Guard player who also did badly, but he got 1 win. I got none.
Ah, I see.
But I was doing pretty good on points. I was really impressed. Like, oh, wow, I've actually not... scored Zippo.
Yeah, good.
Like, there were some folks in that first 2 rounds that scored in, like, 10s and 20s, and I was getting consistently 40s and 50s.
Good.
Really helps when you have your full painted army. Doot. Get on it. But, yeah, so that was what it was. I got a set of dice for it because my dice betrayed me, clearly. They're metal and they have skulls on the pips because not only...
Every pip is a skull, and I gotta say I don't like those dice, but they're nice.
They're nice. They're heavy. They are the tackiest dice I own by a country mile.
Excellent.
Yes. But, yeah, no, we had a really good turnout. We had ended up 20 people. Started off with 22, but 2 people had to drop because the 0-2 milkshake bracket kicked in, where they're like, "Oh, I've gone 0-2. I'm outie," because I'm not even gonna place. So
yeah.
I mean, like, I understand it.
Yeah.
I stuck around because I felt like it, but yeah, I got thrashed by Tyranids, Templars, and Eldar. Eldar are, I think people are sleeping on regular Eldar a little bit because everybody's talking about Harleys.
Mm-hmm.
But regular Eldar are nasty.
Yeah.
Like, you can build an entire list around one kind of aspect warrior, and they'll run you through the ringer, like, pretty well. Like, the guy I fought, one of the guys that I fought recently had Baharoth, and then, like, full squads of swooping hawks, which isn't super, like, killy, but I mean, it was backed up well. But, like, those guys can shoot and scoot, and if all you have to do is make somebody roll enough armor saves, even with Armor of Contempt, which I had on my Templars, and when I got smushed by them. Yeah. I also played the Tempest of War cards, and they are very good and very fun, and I'm glad for Maelstrom to be back. Thank you. I know a lot of people hated it, but I didn't.
Now with the giant stompy robot on your side.
Well, I didn't have that day, but yeah. yeah, other than that, those are the big things. I mean, I played BattleTech. Oh, in my BattleTech games, I finally killed 2 mechs that have been giving me trouble for the last 6 months, I swear to God. I finally blew up Matt's king crab and his cicada.
Those damn things,
the little backstabber and AC-20s for days. All it took was a gentle application of Gauss rifle fire from a Night Star and using a Marauder 2 as bait. Come and learn Alpha Strike with us.
Bait and switch.
Yeah.
Or bait and Gauss, anyway.
Yeah, bait and Gauss. Bait and boom.
Look at me, boom.
Yeah.
That's a railgun.
That was a railgun.
Magnets, how do they work?
Lethally.
At high velocity is the answer.
I think that's pretty much it for gaming that I've done. How about you? Have you gotten any games in?
I did play AOS last week. I got to use the new Kronspine Incarnate.
Yay.
If you play AOS and you're not familiar with the rules on that thing, get familiar. It's going to be in a lot of tables because it is a great mix of a beat stick flying monster with a control piece.
Oh, yeah.
Because it also affects the area around it in a lot of ways.
It really messes with endless spells, right?
It can eat endless spells. You're never going to do that.
Okay.
Because it's, I mean, you can if it's like incredibly necessary, but in general, you'd probably rather spend the time charging like an opponent's line and absolutely mincing them with that profile.
So is it that you're winning, or is it that the Kronspine is winning?
I played Max's Stormcast.
Okay.
And he brought a Krondus and Yndrasta list. So a very, very elite list.
Yeah.
I brought my Tempest Eye of Cities. Basically, the Kronspine is just, it's such a threat, and it's a threat that, barring some very specific circumstances, you can't easily remove. You cannot remove in one turn unless you have both a lot of damage and an instant kill spell.
Oof.
That goes off and lands.
Right.
That's the only way you're ever going to kill it in one turn. Otherwise, you got to wait 2 turns. And even waiting 2 turns, you got to get through 12 wounds and a 4-up armor save. It is very deadly, and it's a very, very scary piece that your opponent has to deal with.
Yeah.
And it buffs you, and it stops them from retreating. Those things can
and
be
it does this, and
huge.
it does this,
yes,
and it does this.
It's 400 points, and it's worth every point. It's found a permanent place on my list for now. I didn't get hit by the FAQ, so I would assume it's going to stay that way for a while.
Yep.
Learn that thing and know how to fight against it. Understand you can't retreat, and understand that it will blend through anything squishy, and it can fly. That's the only gaming I got to do because I've been super busy with work, schoolwork, because I work on a farm, and it is spring, so we're doing farm stuff.
Old farmer.
Yeah, my feet hurt.
Farmer Josh.
Hobby-wise, our own local Age of Sigmar tournament is this Saturday.
Yep.
So I've been getting I'm only playing as the ringer again. I'm just going to sit back here, build play when they want me to. So I won't be playing permanently because my list, this is our first For Glory, or For Honor one.
For Glory.
For Glory, which
for
is
glory
to
is
say,
for money.
which is to say there's a paid prize support. This is the first paid prize support tournament for Age of Sigmar we've ever held here.
Yeah.
And the first one for Warhammer non-40K in
a long time.
Like 10 years. So a lot riding on this. I want to help it go well. I'm going to be here to help set it up. I'm going to be help run it and play ringer. I'm bringing my Cities of Sigmar army.
Yep.
They're not going to be fully painted, but I've at least got them fully built and magnetized.
Oh, there you go.
So that's been what I've been doing game-wise and also hobby-wise. What have you been doing hobby-wise?
Oh, well, I've been painting Curse City mostly.
Yep. Fantastic models.
Yeah. The morning of the tournament, I had to print off some, paint up some stuff that I had printed off for one of my, for my night list. I had a Knight Moriax, one of the little ones, that had been sitting base-coated silver for months. And finally has some ding-dang colors on it. So I got my full 10 points worth of painting.
Good.
Other than that, it's just been, I haven't really been doing a whole ton. I've been working on and off on the Chaos Chosen that I got through the Eldar Choman's box.
Yes.
I just kind of poking at them a little bit. And
just getting some stuff done here.
Yeah, I just get some colors on this and that. I've just kind of been in a hobby lately.
That's fair.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I've been in a painting slump. I haven't wanted to paint, but I've been in a building mood.
Oh, there you go.
You mentioned printing, and
oh, you got yours up and running again, huh?
No, I need to.
Oh.
I've moved it up into my actual living space.
Oh, cool.
Turned the grow tent on its side. I have a full wash and cure station. I've been looking into water washable resin so I don't have to deal with isopropyl alcohol. I don't know if you know anything about water washable resin.
No.
Not really.
Not a wit, sorry.
I've heard varying things. I want to try it. I've heard Elgu make some decent stuff.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. I've got some buddies who are tempting me into sin, tempting me into whipping up Battlefleet Gothic.
Oh God.
I'm like, hey, yeah, just make a 500-point list. And I'm like, I'll make a 500-point list. And I fit it all on one build plate on my...
Well, like, nowadays, like, I don't...
mono.
Anybody who expects you to bring, like, legitimate, like, first-party Battlefleet Gothic minis is not someone you ever want to play with.
No.
I mean, if they have them, that's amazing. But if they're like, oh, I'm not playing with you unless you can go on eBay and buy these for several $100s.
Yeah, no, those are the kind of people that you bring a water bottle to.
Yes.
And you go...
But you mentioned 3D printing, and I saw a wonderful Kickstarter.
Oh, no.
For a bunch of minis
no.
in support of Ukraine hunger relief.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a bunch of STLs donated by major STL Patreons and my mini factory folks. And I backed it because I've got it. It's like everything from 3D Art Digital to Print and Play, Archvillain Games, Beasteria Minis, Loot Studios, Titan Forge. Basically, everybody you've ever heard of donated a couple minis to this thing.
Sweet.
For $50. The one problem is they do need to do a sensor check because, like, you're just scrolling down and like, oh, that's a pack of dogs. Oh, that's an adorable mouse dite. That's some full frontal nudity. And there's back to adorable things. Yeah. I don't think Kickstarter's okay with that, so you guys might want to check that out if you're listening.
Got some busters hanging out there.
It's not just busters. That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
Not really my thing.
Right.
But I was like, oh, that's
she looks breezy.
Keep scrolling. Yep. I don't think you can do that on Kickstarter. Anyway, that was just you reminded me of the 3D printing. That was the only.
Yeah.
I need to get it up and running because I got so many STLs, and my Age of Sigmar list I want to play is called Burn and Bonk, because it involves dwarves with flamethrowers and dwarves with hammers, en masse.
Mm-hmm.
I want to print some of those instead of buying them off of GW because GW won't mail them to me when I buy things that are ATO.
One last thing that I played a miniatures game called Horrified.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Universal Monsters one, not the
okay.
Not the American one. Wendigo is not a monster.
Don't talk about that.
Yeah. Anyway, but that game's super fun, and it has like little minis. I actually was thinking about going through all the characters and like seeing if I could find like minis that I could print to represent them.
Yeah.
Or failing that, go on Hero Forge to make some.
Make your own.
Yeah, and then I was gonna get some better versions of because they're not minis, they're tokens.
Right. Yeah.
Some really crappy. Like these are really kind of crappy.
Token, but the game is great. The tokens not so much.
Yeah. But then I realized, much like you just said, I'd have to look up like, oh yeah, Bride of Frankenstein. Oh.
No.
Ooh, Dracula. Ooh. Yeah, I've been gaming a lot more than I have in the past, and that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I don't know, like my social battery is like draining faster than I expected it to.
Have to find that balance.
Yeah. But I've got new minis coming in. The other thing, I ginned up some minis for Rain in Hell.
Yes.
I told you about this off camera, but I'm telling you on camera too. We need to get.
I gotta finish that.
Yeah. So I bought the book.
I know I've got some demon minis somewhere.
Oh, really? I've got a boatload of like blood, like corn demons, but I don't want to use those because they're not right.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about minis and agnostic games is you can decide what's right.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong.
And then I finally I also tempted our buddy Matt into Stargrave.
Nice.
Because I told him he can use his Colonial Marines in it.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. It's even encouraged.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So that's next on the list. I think as far as hobby bingo is concerned, at least for me, next thing on my list is probably going to be build, buy, build, and buy, paint. No, buy, print, build, paint the Rain and Hell stuff.
There you go. Got the order right. Mm-hmm. That order is important. It's hard to paint it before you print it.
Yeah.
Pour paint the resin.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
thanks for listening to this episode.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed yourself. If you did, go ahead and share it around. Leave a like, comment, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And we will see you next time in 2 weeks with more news and
Hobby nonsense.
news and nonsense. That really should be the name of the show.
I know, right? Yeah, but it's not very SEO friendly.
No, it's not.
But if you have a way to play with Google's SEO abilities, please
If you work at YouTube.
Yeah. If you have a way to screw with Google's SEO, please do it in our favor. And if you're that powerful, please wipe out all student debt. So we'll see you next time.
So we can use it to buy more minis.
Yeah.